Alright, that looks right. This looks right. Am I live? Okay, okay, so now I'm live. This is very strange. Once again, I apologize. I think I'm the only one here. That's just perfect, because this is a little bit of a... honestly, a not great situation, considering the amount of issues I'm currently facing. So, here. There's some, like, visualization issues with, everything, I hope. This is just on my end. So let me make sure everything is edited correctly. Oh, and I had 75 subscribers. That's perfect. And I'm really hopeful that this is, fixable. Once again, I apologize in advance to anyone potentially watching. There is a little bit of growing pains for me, but I'll go ahead and try and, as I'm fixing things... So if I'm not mistaken... Whoop. The video is all messed up while I'm streaming. I apologize. I don't know why that would be. Everything looks good. I'm watching this both on my computer and thumbnail, and hopefully, once again, I'm sorry about the slowness. This should resolve itself fairly quickly. I think my computer's trying to do too many things at once, and once I stop taxing it that much, after I add in this thumbnail, everything should work. Oh, I could bring you. Don't you help Bond of Master and Disciple? Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, you're there. So that's good. Having him helps immensely. There we go. I'll save changes. Once that's done, I'll close out my browser. Who else do I have? Unfortunately, there's a dearth of good units. I guess I'm going to bring support Trunks. Yeah, because I don't really see any other winners that I would bring. I could bring one of the blue Vegetas, but why would I? Yeah. Oh, I could bring... well, he's AGA. We're going to stick with this team for a little bit. I'm going to rock it, and we're going to see how we do. I've never actually listened with audio to gameplay, so this will be really interesting. To to kind of see, because it's not something I usually get to experience. That's very exciting. So we're starting out here. I got the chat pulled up in case anyone says anything. So I kind of like this theme. I've learned that Dokkan has like genuinely really good OSTs, which is exciting. So we're starting out. This should be pretty easy. The first couple stages never really give me that much issue. It's more so trying to do multiple things all at once that seems to give me occasionally a problem. But nothing crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. And like I said, that was one turn. So he is... he goes down like a bitch. So, as much as I'm excited for this, I am a little... not perturbed, but... it's really good. He's a really good unit once he gets Dokkan Awakened. He's not a great unit or a game-changing unit. I was a lot more excited for him when he first came out because I happened to love the specific card. However, as time's gone on, I feel like there's less and less of an opportunity to truly run him, which is unfortunate. Considering, you know, when he came out, I loved him so much. He was the first Dokkan Fest Blue Vegeta. However, now we have a ton of Blue Vegeta options. He's clearly outclassed by the Tech one, which is unfortunate because the Tech one's just a banner unit, and this is an EZA unit. However, the Tech Blue Vegeta is magnanimous with his awakening. Offensively and defensively, he's impressive. He's good in both short and long events. I just so seldom have complaints about his performance that I have to give him the clear and utter edge over this Vegeta. I do like this Vegeta now that I have him at 69%. I actually finally got a dupe in both the Transforming Goku and Transforming Vegeta, which really catapults their quality and ability. If you're not aware, before they have dupes in them, they are remarkably unremarkable for Dokkan Fest exclusive units, especially to come out in the era they did. This Vegeta came out a little over a year ago, and I feel like he's aged pretty poorly. So few people run him nowadays that it makes him very difficult to bring into anything, which is unfortunate. Also, so we have some viewers, so hi everybody, thank you for stopping by. I genuinely really appreciate that. Always good to see people. Yeah, like I was saying, it's really interesting to see how Dokkan Fest exclusive units age over time. Like, this Vegeta, I think, is an example of a unit aging rapidly, and I don't necessarily know why. It just seems like the upper limits when he becomes Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I think that not being as impressive as it used to be really hurts him. I think people could forgive the first couple stages of him not necessarily performing as well as it did back in the day. But I think the idea that, you know, after all the investment of using him up through every stage until he goes blue, not paying off really hurts his usability. He does lead what I would consider to be one of the best teams in the game, which is the Pure Saiyan team. It might genuinely be the best team in the game. I think an argument is definitely there. It does get to champion 2 of the 4 best units in the game. However, if I'm not mistaken, Realm of Gods and I think Last Resort does as well. I don't know if UI Goku is on Last Resort. I didn't check the information from the data download or the Twitter reveal on JP Dokkan, but I would imagine he would be. I feel like Ultra Instinct is a Last Resort type move. I could be wrong about that. You know, the categories don't always make sense. Also, if it looks like I'm randomly tapping, I've got this, like with my Elgato set up, I actually have this playing on the TV, and so I'm using the TV to watch, because I think it's just really interesting to play Dokkan on a television. So if I tap in the wrong areas on occasion, that's why. But yeah, let me think of other units that have kind of, excuse me, aged in a similar fashion. I think, don't know if I would say that Tech Trunks has aged to the same degree. He's still a fantastic unit. However, I don't see people, yeah, at 41% getting 100% leader skill, he's not going to look good. I have actually a dupe in him. I just don't have any Kais to give him, so I think he's like SA 5 or something. I'm currently grinding out some. I have to go do the Dokkan Battlefield to get the last Kai I can get from there, and there's a couple other stages I need to get, but with the so many units coming out that I've pulled recently, it's really, really hard to keep up. I might do a multi-summon on the
Let's do this.
with tech type manner just to get the 2 Kais, because you get 1 and then 10 coins, which is exchangeable for a Kai. So luckily we've had both Blue Vegeta and or Transforming Vegeta and Blue Goku on every turn so far, every first turn, which has been really convenient, I will say. It's helped tremendously because it just goes by quicker, and I think that's a huge litmus test right now. Because these first couple stages of the EZA aren't difficult, they're a little bit tedious. So let's think of who else you could have brought. I'm trying to think of the super physical units in the game on Bond of Master and Disciple, and there's not a ton of options. If I'm not mistaken, LR Gohan, the physical one from Super Battle Road, is on the team, but he's not a good or great unit until he gets his EZA, which obviously isn't available on Global. I'm just going to pull it up real quick. Bond of Master and Disciple. Yeah, Falky, that's a good point. I know you sent a picture earlier of you doing it. It's a really good event to do. It takes forever. There's also the the fake Vegeta, copy Vegeta event that I need to grind. I've never had a need to grind events like that for Kais, but right now I do. Honestly, I feel bad because I've not been grinding Dokkan as much because I've been playing some Legends. My Legends team also wasn't any good because I'm so far behind. The last time I played Legends before now was the 1-year anniversary. And while I'm enjoying it, I both am terrible at the game and also don't know how it works, which is always fun. So like I learned about Zenkai boosting units by hearsay, and so I've looked into it and I'm trying to Zenkai boost a couple, but it is a little bit difficult. If you don't know how Legends works, Zenkai boosting is similar to like an EZA, like we're doing here. But a little more complex. Rather than, kind of facing one event, you do a myriad of options. So you can only Zenkai boost a unit when it's 7-starred. So that's like the equivalent of, it used to be the equivalent of rainbowing a unit. Now you can do more. So you're rainbowing a unit just to get to use them, or to Zenkai them, and then you also have to do a bunch of like really tedious steps, like use them 100 times and a bunch of other stuff like that. It can get really annoying, but I understand that for someone that's played it a lot more than I have, it's a little bit easier. So looking at the Bond and Master and Disciple team, the other units I could have probably brought, I think AGL LR Gohan would be fine here. I don't know what types get damage reduction or extra damage on this EZA, but I love that end screen. I can tell you that offensively and in the upper echelons defensively, it won't hold up if you don't use like physical typing. You're better off using a category member than a non-category member. However, as you move on to like level 50, it gets really difficult not to use one of like the advantage typing. So looking, I could have brought really not a ton of options. Maybe I could have brought Evolution Blue Vegeta, but once again, he's not got type advantage, which makes me nervous. I'm excited to see what Trunks does. I've got him at 90%, which is really cool. I thought he was going to be my first Rainbow LR, but I actually rainbowed Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which was surprising. Looking through Blue Kaioken Goku, same problem. Not a lot of extreme types. I think there's only like 2 or 3, so hopefully he doesn't reduce damage against super types, because that would suck. Let's see what else. Not a huge bevy of options. I wouldn't bring any tech type units just because of type advantage and disadvantage. If I was going to, I think the only ones I would bring would probably... his fights are quick, so I guess I'd probably bring Blue Vegeta. And that might be it, because I don't want to bring Super Trunks, because he only becomes great defensively after he... 4? Either turn 3 or turn 4. So I'm, definitely, I think I would leave him at home. N-type units. Oh, obviously the category leader, Future Gohan. He's amazing. Falky, you're right. I kind of wish I had him. I could run him as a friend lead. I could do that. It'd be hard to find though. I don't feel like swapping back and forth, especially when transforming Vegeta is gonna do almost as good. The main problem he's gonna have is he's not giving as big of a buff to a lot of units. Yeah, I think as I get up higher in the event, I'm gonna go a little bit higher than the 30, and then I might grind some other stuff too. But Falky, you're right. That's a good event. Also, can you tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right? I feel like I'm saying Falky, which it looks like the correct way of saying it, but if I'm getting it wrong, I obviously don't want to keep doing so. So if you could just type like yes or no, it'd be awesome. Who else could you bring? The % support Gohan would be great. I guess in a friend request. Vados could be really good. I know she does give a pretty significant buff to several units. Okay, perfect. I was worried I wasn't. You know, the Blue Vegeta's being a huge example, so she could be good. Plus, her dodge chance is helpful. Honestly, the Whis, the STR Whis, could be good as well, I guess. That's 70% chance to dodge. The problem is when he gets tagged, it's going to be... Oh, no! So, if you don't know, Beerus can change any type of orb to Rainbow if he's facing a Realm of Gods unit, and he transformed all the physical units, which is unfortunate. Because obviously I want the physical type units to have physical type ki. It's just, you know, I would make everyone perform a little bit better. But we should be good. This is still going to go down in one turn, I think. Looking through, I don't think either the EZA and Trunkses would be a great option here. I don't like running them, period. I think the Dokkan Fest one is a lot better, but I'm still not sure I would run either option. Looking at the STR units, Kappa could be really good, just because of how much he provides to the team. Though you won't want to run a lot of STR units, so maybe you'd leave him at home. Obviously, LR, Beerus, and Whis could be an option. Whis, if he doesn't get hit, could be really good with that 70% chance to dodge, because I don't think any EZA, like, forbids dodging that I'm aware of. I'm thinking, and I definitely don't think that's a mechanic that they do. Yeah, and I think a combo lead would be a really good idea. If I had Int Future Gohan, I'd run him. I wonder if that means he doesn't reduce damage against Int types. So yeah, you could rock. If you know, not on global, but on JP, the EZA Int Dokkan Fest Trunks would be a decent option, provided you can get him orbs, which is the really big thing. And then, would you run? Blue Vegeta in the Int Blue Vegeta EZA? I think you could. I genuinely think he'd not be a bad option. He buffs Realm of Gods units, so if you got lucky and he showed up next to Beerus or transforming Vegeta, it wouldn't be terrible. His own defense won't be great, but it wouldn't be bad necessarily. I mean, he'd probably sit around 100k, which, you know, for the most part, you're gonna take, you know, double digits from normal attacks. These EZAs don't hit hard until they super, as long as you're on the right category. And seeing as how Future Gohan's the lead, usually your lead isn't, or is exempted from, like, that typing is one of the dual types that's exempted from damage reduction. Yeah, I think it's a good option. I wouldn't be bad at all. You could do it. What else could you do? No. Yeah, not a lot. And then physical. Gowasu and Zamasu are on this category. I guess guess that makes sense. Excuse me. They would be really good. I still haven't pulled them, which is really hurtful. I really like that unit. 70% damage or defense to allies is wonderful as an ability. Plus, I believe they get a domestic dodge chance, if I'm not mistaken. I want to pop that open real quick. You've got Physical Trunks, the one from the Android 13 movie. I've never been that impressed with him. The defensive... okay, high chance, that's 50% chance to dodge. So yeah, I was right about Kawasu and Zamasu. The Physical Trunks, I've never been that impressed with. He lacks categories he clearly needs. The most obvious of those being Super Saiyan, which baffles me why he's not on there despite going Super Saiyan in his Super Attack. If I'm not mistaken, his Super Attack name deals with Super Saiyan as well, which would be the same criteria that Goten and Trunks qualified for the Fusion category with. So theoretically, he should be. Physical Future Gohan is a good unit. I don't think he's on my team, but he's definitely worth running. He's better in the later stages, though, so leave him. And then obviously Dokkan Fest Piccolo, who's a unit that I really want to pull. Let's see what this does. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he would be better or if the EZA Physical Piccolo that I'm currently running is better. I don't know what kind of support Dokkan Fest Piccolo gives to allies. But 70% defense is nothing to sneeze at. Honestly, it'd be really interesting to see Kawasu and Zamasu next to Physical EZA Piccolo, because they both give the team 70% defense. Oh, but Dokkan Fest Piccolo both raises defense, which not great in an EZA. I'll be honest, it's not necessary. But he foresees enemy super attack, which is really good. Okay. That's a good... He'd be really good. More kinds, which is awesome, and medals. I definitely have to grind out higher stages of the event, assuming that I can. Because... excuse me, I'm going to need the Zenny. I've been absolutely strapped on Zenny since they just keep launching EZAs at us on Global. Plus, I just have not dedicated the amount of time I need to into like grinding out a bunch of different stuff in the game. I feel like there's so much going on right now that's hard to play this and something else. Like I'm most of the way through Persona 5 Royal, which is the extended version of my second favorite game of all time. I think it might be my favorite game of all time. But I can't play that because I want to play Dokkan and grind out all the new content, and then I want to play Legends and grind out all the new content, and then I want to play or just keep my JP account logged in. I don't really play it that much, but there's just so much going on to grind. And Dokkan's one of those games that never really ends. They just keep releasing such good stuff too. Like the Global First UI Goku was amazing. This Beerus was amazing. I should not have summoned on him probably, but I got him and I'm happy. And then obviously the 5-year anniversary is right around the corner, and I don't want to be caught without the blue fusions. You know, before I was really in on Vegeta being the best, and I think I still am. However, I think I'm actually going to go for Gogeta this time. I think I want him for my Super STR team. Mostly to run alongside UI Goku. Though I think the Vegeta banner is better. So maybe I'll go for a copy of Vegeta, and then I'll go for Goku. Also, like I said, if you see a number on here from Beerus that looks a little bit low, keep in mind, mine is only 41% in SA5. I brought him on here because I like running him, and I just really like that unit. But he's not, you know, SA10. He's not fully built out in the dupe system for free dupe, much less with his 69%. So yeah, Beerus right now, take that image with a grain of salt. He's not only getting a lower leader skill, but he's also not getting his full buffs. So don't worry about that if you're on the fence about him and you're not sure how you feel. I'm not setting him up for success. I'm purely using him defensively. I don't know. I like looking through the categories like this, kind of while I'm talking. It's a little bit interesting, considering the first couple stages are pretty mindless grinding. It doesn't really get hard, I think, until the 25th stage. That's when difficulty really picks up. It's just really cool to look through all the categories and see, you know, I've pulled most of these units, or I've grinded out most of these units, and it's really interesting because a lot of them I would not consider. So let's see what everyone's defense is looking like with Piccolo. Yeah, that's not, you know, for my Beerus, I'll show you how much I've got in them. Yeah, like I said, SA5, and then 41%. So you can see where the dupe path is open, but all I've given him is, you know, the smallest amount you can possibly set him up with. So clearly he's not, you know, going to do very well. This Vegeta should do pretty well. I'm interested. I wish I could see what Beerus looked like after he got hit defensively. I would imagine he'd have to be up over 100k defense. If he gets 70%, 70% of 68k is, what, around 45, I think? Maybe? That would be, yeah, that sounds about right. So, you know, that puts him 113. That's not bad. Especially considering, like I said, how low he is in the dupe system. And then this physical Piccolo, you know, we've seen him at over 1 million attack stat on a team with like he's getting basically 100%, or sorry, 200%, which is not high whatsoever. And considering I don't expect him to do damage, I'm really impressed with his performance. I love that physical Piccolo. He's one of my, you know, probably, he's in my upper tier favorite units. He's definitely not one of my favorites. I actually have a favorites tag in the game that I like to run, but he's, you know, in the upper echelon. I like him a lot. Looking through, also, if you're watching, let me know what you think about having kind of the Dokkan battle music in the background. I like it because it's nice and easy, and I'm still learning how to stream. There's a lot of like mechanics that go into it and things to do. But I just don't want it to be silent. However, if you think it's annoying, if you don't like it, if you do like it, let me know. Because it'll probably be different next time around, hopefully. I kind of want to gather feedback and see. This stream is really just kind of me messing around and learning how to. There's an EZA that I could kind of throw up there. And it's, you know, something I can put out, but also learn with. You know, it's something I can do for a long time, get the feel of streaming, but also kind of learn from. I definitely want to stream my summons on the 5th year anniversary banners. Very excited about those. It'll be really interesting to see kind of how I do. I'm interested in the sales stones as well. I know on Global they've been pretty decent lately. Like the UI Goku sales I thought were pretty good. Granted, I spent more money than I should have, but you know, for what they were, it was, you know, pretty interesting. Or it was pretty decent, considering it was, you know, a general pool LR summon banner, which doesn't necessitate really a great amount of stone sales, but I think because it was global first, they realized that it would be a good idea. And it clearly was. It got on the top grossing. I contributed plenty to it, so yeah. I bought every bit of the sales stones on that one, so it worked out well for them. Let's just say I put a few coins in their pockets. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, no, I was impressed. I'm really excited for the 5th year anniversary. There's very few things that are as hype as an anniversary in Dokkan Battle, especially for someone that cares about the game. It's very similar to, like, it's kind of like a midnight release for a game that everyone's playing, except I have rarer and rarer opportunities given the fact that I'm kind of, you know, out in the, you know, real world and not in college to experience the joy of a midnight release with people that I kind of hang out with on the regular. I'm not obviously not going to anyone's house to play a midnight release of a game anymore. I did used to work at GameStop, and I think I've spoke about that on the channel before. But I worked at GameStop for a myriad of midnight releases. I think I ended up doing like 10 or 12. I was only there for like, you know, 6 or 8 months. It was you know, it felt like a long time, but looking back, I guess it wasn't. And they were a ton of fun. Definitely probably the highlight of my job. I would say the highlight of my job was probably midnight releases. I met some really cool people. Some of my really good friends are from GameStop. Actually, I had a really good friend from there. And then I don't talk to some people, not because I don't like them, but just because they were coworkers. And I don't typically keep up with my coworkers after I leave a job, but it was a really awesome experience. The discounts were nice, and GameStop is a store that I know gets a lot of hate, and I think it's entirely fair for the most part. However, there are things about it that I adore. I think the fact they have midnight releases in the way that they do for a lot of games is really a good thing. It brings kind of that enthusiasm and joy into picking up a new game, and for me, that's a big deal. I understand other people that, maybe, some people on my channel I understand are younger, which is, obviously fine. And then there are some people that don't play console games, which I also entirely understand. And, you don't have the opportunity to go to these midnight releases, but I will tell you, it's some of the most fun. It's a bunch of people who, whether they are like you or come from a very different walk of life, they share a very similar interest to you that you're clearly passionate enough about to go to a release for. And I think that is a lot of times really charming, and it can sometimes improve my perception of a game. I know Pokemon Sun and Moon are not considered some of the best in the franchise, but one of my best moments playing Pokemon, or best memories, was going to the midnight release of those. It was a lot of fun. There were other games like that. A lot of the midnight releases that came out were for games I didn't play. Funnily enough, I did the Smash Bros. Midnight release, which obviously we were going to have because Smash Bros. Was, one of the biggest, if not the biggest game of that year. It was one of the biggest. And it was a ton of fun, and I wasn't going to get Smash Bros. I genuinely was not, because I did not care about Smash Bros. And in that, I heard someone start, jumping up and down and screaming because Joker from Persona 5 had got announced at, I think, the VGAs, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember thinking then and there, oh, well, it's a Persona game now, so I have to get it. And so when I made that decision and I said it out loud, people got really excited because a GameStop employee was getting Smash Bros, I guess. And it was something fun for them to kind of, get to experience with me, in the joy of, everyone getting to teach me about Smash Bros in different ways. And I don't remember a word of what anyone said because I didn't know anything about Smash Bros, so anything they said to me was way over my head. But it's such a good memory because of how fun and enjoyable it was for all these people to kind of come together and get to talk about something that they enjoyed, as well as something that I was going to experience. So it was really, really cool. And the only thing I think comparable outside of that right now are these huge Dokkan celebrations where you can go on the subreddit, and I've got a friend that plays Dokkan, and he texts me. I'm in now a Discord with a bunch of cool people that play Dokkan. And, but when something big like this is about to come out, you get to hear all these people get so hype, and people are staying up and summoning. Excuse me, one sec. I'm sorry if that was on your cameras, on your screens. But, it's just really awesome to get to, hear people that really care and enjoy this thing that I also am passionate about and I enjoy and I look forward to. And I think that's pretty rare. Especially for a lot of people, kind of in that professional environment. I am fresh out of college. I'm working in a pretty awesome job that I really enjoy. However, my opportunity to socialize right now with people that are like-minded is very limited. There's not a great way for me to meet people who are passionate about the same thing I am. So seeing an online community that I'm involved in, get really hyped about that, it's just really fun and makes me smile. What can I say? Also, if you're not on the Dokkan Battle subreddits, I know my boy Falky had a falling out that he made a video about, which is pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You can find his channel in the chat. It's not, I think he's the only person that's chatting. It's really helpful as a tool, and it's also really cool to see people get excited. I look at probably the vast majority of posts on the subreddit. There are a few that I miss here and there, but I look at most. It was actually the reason why I joined Reddit, was to look at that subreddit, and it is very helpful. It taught me a lot about the game and made me enjoy it a whole lot more. I joined probably... oh, hey, what's going on, Abby? Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that. That's really awesome. I'm happy to see you. Cool. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate that. Abby's one of the people that I met in the Discord that's really cool. Hey. They're awesome. If you haven't checked out their channel, please do it as well. I really enjoy their content. Yeah, I remember I started playing, I think around the Tech Cell banner, I want to say. Which, if you've not, if you weren't there for, it was a bad time compared to now. I think one of the big things that everyone harps on is that there was no guaranteed LR summons. Or no, sorry, not guaranteed LR, no guaranteed SSR summons. I apologize. And the rates were on global something like 3% for an SSR. Hey, what's going on, Reese? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that. Thank you all for showing up and supporting the chat. I really appreciate that. But yeah, no, Tech Cell was a brutal banner. And I didn't know what was going on, so I obviously couldn't appreciate anything. The unit that I pulled was the SR Tech Hercule from the Friend Summon banner. And I was super hyped because I thought it was funny, and I was going to make him a TUR until I realized you couldn't do that, because I didn't know what TURs and SSRs and URs were. And so for the first World Tournament I did, I think I had AGL Kid Buu unawoken, and he was my lead, and he was considered like a really decent lead because his HP pool was so high. I think he gave like a 50% buff. So you could run 2 of him and have a pretty decent team. You wouldn't get super attacks, and you couldn't additional. So you would just have to slug through the preliminary stage. And it would take sometimes like, I don't know, like 15 minutes. And it was also the time where you had to get, I want to say it was 60 wins to get a guaranteed SSR ticket. Gosh, that was brutal. Now that I think about it. Wow. Okay, I remember I did it one time and got the GSSR ticket. It took me, I think I just had to play nonstop. Like, I worked at a golf course at the time, and behind the podium I would have my phone out and I'd be grinding Dokkan. And it was so rough because I remember having to use stones, and we didn't have any stones back then. Fight Goku Black. Avi, that's when you started. That actually was a really big banner for me because it came out right before the AGL Rose and Physical Vegeta Blue. And in the 1.5 year anniversary was when what we called the Neo Gods back then came out. And so I started saving after I pulled Physical Broly. And I could not beat his Dokkan Festival event, because at the time that was the most difficult event in the game, was Physical Broly's Dokkan Fest, and I couldn't beat it. And so I saved up for months to pull Physical Goku Black, and I had 300 stones saved up, which is the most like I'd ever seen in one place before. And I remember summoning, and I almost didn't get him, but I think I had like 307 stones at the end, and I used all 300 and got nothing. I think I got like 1 SSR. And then I was like, okay, well, I've got 1 single I can throw out. And bam, that's when I got him. And it was like a glorious moment. I dropped my phone. I jumped around the room. I checked on my phone. I put it back down, and I was like freaking out. I was like texting the person I was dating at the time. And I was like just so happy. And then LR Tech Broly. I got stupid lucky on LR Tech Broly's banner. Because he came out almost, I guess, a year ago. Yeah, he came out last Goku Day, so it was a year ago. A little over, I think, now. And I was saving up for the Super Saiyan. I think I was actually, I didn't like the Super Saiyan 4s. They were really good. I've just never been a huge Super Saiyan 4 fan. Okay, cool. You did the same thing with Physical Vegeta Blue. Yeah, I'm telling you, those banners were ridiculous too. The discounts that came out. To the best of my memory, that was the first time Global got a better discounts and banner than JP got. And I remember freaking out. Because there were like tickets, there were discount summons, there were guaranteed SSR. Like, it was insane. Nothing had ever come out like that. And I think from that banner I pulled Physical Vegeta Blue and I don't know if I got a dupe or not. I think I might have. And then I pulled the Tech Trunks in the same multi. He desperately needs an EZA, by the way. He'll get one soonish, I think, now that Physical Vegeta Blue has one. But they were both kind of top of the game, but I didn't have a team for Tech Trunks to run under because I didn't have Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. I think he was the last of the 70% units I pulled. Yeah, no, it was such a good day for Dokkan, and it really makes, you think about that, those days compared to now, and even when I get shafted, like, me back in the day would be freaking out about how good my summons are, which is really sad. Oh, sorry, I was talking about LR Tech Broly, and I completely got distracted. I apologize. Such a good unit. When he came out, I was saving up all my stones. I wasn't a huge fan of the Super Saiyan 4s because, for whatever reason, and I really don't know why, but the Super Saiyan 4 form has never resonated with me in the same way that, like, the God forms did. And I don't know if it's because I just appreciate the aesthetics of the different colorations of the God forms. I don't know if it's... I really have no idea. I guess I wasn't a huge GT fan when it came on, but for whatever reason, I was just not as hyped. So when Gohan and Goten came out, I was freaking out because Gohan is my probably all-time favorite Dragon Ball character. I can say I have an entire tag of just Gohan units in my box. So that was definitely very hyped for me to see come. And then LR Tech Broly. Broly was one of, and still is, one of my favorite villains in the franchise. I can acknowledge that most of his movies are not good whatsoever. The original Broly trilogy is bad, and it gets, worse as you go in, because the first one's already pretty dumb, and the second one is, it stretches something out, but it did it in a fun way, and then the last one is Bio Broly. I don't recommend anybody watching it, but I always loved them for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the character design. I don't know if it's just me being a kid when I first saw them. They were the pinnacle of hype. I own all three of them, and they were so good. And then, okay, so yeah, Dragon Ball Super Broly had already come out at the time, and that movie, I remember leaving going, wow, that was the pinnacle of Dragon Ball. Because we've had so many good Dragon Ball movies. We've had so many good Dragon Ball episodes, so many good Dragon Ball arcs, but I don't think Dragon Ball has ever had something where I came out and go, wow, that was just a good movie. Like, on its own merit, hype from the franchise notwithstanding, I think that movie genuinely holds up in a way that the others, don't. And I was freaking out. And it's very different than most Dragon Ball movies too, because the fight scene is not the hypest part of the movie, or the most exciting part of the movie, or the best part of the movie. It's the character interactions. They perfected the character interactions. Broly is a genuinely three-dimensional character for the first time in the Dragon Ball franchise. The closest thing we had to that was some people's arcs in the Cell games, but that's been a while, and there were some moments in Dragon Ball Super where there was genuine development, but Broly is like an interesting entity. Then as you keep going, I never watched it too, Reese, I'll be honest. It is so good. Holy balls is a good way to describe it. I agree, Abby. It is remarkable. There's just so many good moments. Chile and Limo are interesting in their dynamic. They add something to the story. The desperate cries of Broly when he's being, like, genuinely tortured by Paragus are really interesting. Paragus is also really interesting. I was surprised that they made him so sympathetic, considering his kind of role was historically so one-dimensional, and he was looking for, just revenge. But now there's more to it. He's also tortured and, gone. I think the movie built toward him kind of losing his mind a little bit on, I forget what the planet is called. It's got a name, but I don't remember it. I'll call it Broly Planet. The idea of Broly's design dealing with his backstory is something that Dragon Ball rarely does. I don't think a lot of the characters' designs ever tie as concretely into the backstory and characterization as Broly did. It's Vampa. Yeah, Planet Vampa. Thank you. Thank you, Abby. I also almost went to see it twice, but the only place near me in Columbia that showed it was doing a one-night premiere, and so I had to get tickets. I went by myself, so I 100% understand, Reese. I will say this. I rarely enjoy people talking in movies. I'm usually one of the guys that likes to get, you know, I go to the back of the theater, I sit in the middle seat, and I've got my perfect thing, like, set up, and I prefer, like, an absolutely silent experience. But some of the scenes, when everyone was freaking out about some of the stuff they did on screen, it made the movie feel kind of more like that midnight release experience that I mentioned earlier. So I'm truly sorry, Reese, that you didn't get to see it in theaters. And Abby, I agree that they should not have spoiled everything in marketing. I think Vegeta should have been a surprise. Unfortunately, I was spoiled from it in the middle of a Dokkan video, I think. Because I at the time I wasn't active on Twitter, and I'm backing off now. And it wasn't teased in the subreddit. There were a bunch of spoiler rules back in the day. Now it's a little more lax, I think, because the only spoilers are manga spoilers, and those are, you know, are they canon? Are they not canon? Who knows? Also, Reese and Abby, am I pronouncing your names correctly? Is there a better way to pronounce them? If you can let me know. I apologize if I'm just, like, throwing them out incorrectly. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, but there's, like, a disconnect between, like, my eyes and the screen. And I've gotten fairly decent next to my job at pronouncing names, but I'm far from perfect, so I apologize. But yeah, no, that movie was just so good. The aesthetics, I think the first-person perspective they used for the God Vegeta scene was really interesting. There was some really good use of, like, 3D movement. Oh, perfect! Oh, that's awesome, Reese. Yeah, I've seen someone with a very similar name to you recently, actually, at work, and I somehow got it right there, too. I was very surprised, because I was throwing it out and kind of lobbing it up and hoping that I sunk it. But that's awesome. Yeah, there was just, like, visually speaking, the art style when it first came out, there was that first little trailer with Goku and the mystery Saiyan that would be revealed as Broly, where Goku's jumping around. So that's level 30. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt myself. But real quick, that's level 30. I feel like this has gone really easy. Like, have we taken 10% of our damage? I didn't think the AGL Goku Black EZA was as difficult as people said, but now I'm starting to see why. If you don't have units in the category, this will kick your... that one would kick your ass. It was a lot less forgiving, and I thought that was easy. So, okay. But back to Broly. Oh, is it Avi? Is that correct? I am trying. I'm sorry. I somehow missed that comment where you talked about my pronunciation of it. I really apologize. Is it Avi? I hope that's correct. I apologize if I got it wrong, like I said once again, and for missing the comment. Sorry. It's been a little bit of a long day, and I'm streaming later at night than I intended to, but it took a lot of setup, and it was a little more difficult than I anticipated, but it seems to be doing good. Also, AV, I'm also an English major. I was not good at it. Well, I don't know. To give a little, I guess, backstory on me, if you're curious, I was an English major, and the last 3 years of college, I don't think I read a single book for my major. I was English and Religious Studies, and I learned how not to read very early on, and so I just didn't. So grammatically, I am terrible. I took purely literature classes, so the rules of grammar are beyond me. I try to be decent at... okay, you get it. You understand. Okay, I'm not alone here. But yeah, no, I try to avoid prepositional endings, but that's about my only stipulation, the only criteria you could see as someone who has an English major. I'm so glad someone else understands. All my friends make fun of me because my majors were so easy. Which, if you're going back to college, I always recommend people major in either English or religious studies. They are the easiest majors if you know what you're doing. And all it takes is understanding how to analyze. Okay, Reese, I'm telling you, you gotta get it. It's so easy. I think at my school it had the fewest requirements as well. So you could do it quicker than any other major, and you could tack on whatever you want. You could graduate early if you wanted to. It's also very versatile if you want to go to graduate school. Very few programs aren't excited about English majors. So like eventually I'm going to get my MBA, and at least at the schools that I am interested in applying to, English majors are considered one of the top competitors because there's some sort of misconception that English majors are important. I'm sorry, AV, about that. I'm just picking on myself. I promise. But yeah, no, it's a really good option if you're going. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Also, religious studies is very much the same way. I think the course content for me was a little more interesting, just because it was a very new idea. I, of course, have been... I've been in a very religious household. I am religious. I have been all my life. But there is a disconnect in religious studies versus religious involvement. Religious studies, you practice this thing called methodological atheism, which is a practice where you separate yourself from the religion and you analyze everything as if it is like a textbook. And it's really interesting. I can go on and link about it, but I promise I won't. Like, it's really boring if you don't care. But if you're looking for an easy tack-on, major or minor, those two have some of the lightest requirements. The class sizes are tiny because no one wants to major in religious studies after the Religion 101 class, so you get a lot of one-on-one with professors. But yeah, no, it's great. Avi, I am so glad you understand. Oh my gosh, literally no one else has understood what's going on. All my friends, my best friend switched to political science towards the end, and each one of them were so pissed off at me towards the end because all of the senior finals were so stressful. Everything was bad in finals except for one. I was totally fine. There was no stress. I felt good. I didn't care. I agree. We do have to hang out. That would be awesome. I am so glad someone understands. I think the only stress in college for me was my senior thesis, and there was one semester that was really stressful. Just because the two professors I had went above and beyond what is considered normal criteria. Well, my senior thesis was, it's a little difficult. It was a literary response to Bertram Wyatt Brown's Honor and Violence in the American South through a minority perspective. It's very, very dense. But the guy I was writing it, kind of going over it, was, he was a little bit harder on senior theses than anybody else was. So that was a nightmare. But aside from that, English is the way to go. I recommend it. It is so easy. My brother is an economics major, and he's going through it right now. And when he describes his class load, it is staggering. The amount he does, and I just cannot imagine going through college with that kind of stress. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, AV. Honestly, I came from a very different scholastic background than I think a lot of people did. So college for me was a good breather because of me growing up. I was grounded if I didn't get all A's. So, I had a very different mindset going into college of, oh my god, I can finally breathe. Because I was cool with anything as long, C and up. I was fine. As long as it kept my, scholarships and stuff, I was totally cool. I did not care. But yeah, I think genuinely a gap year or a gap semester can be really helpful. Before I was going to go to grad school, which kind of tell you about myself, I guess. This is more... I'm sorry if I'm talking too much about myself and not enough about Dokkan. If anyone's bored, I genuinely apologize. But I was actually going to go to law school. And I decided that I always wanted to do the Disney internship program down in Orlando. So I did that for a semester, and I think that helped change my perspective a little bit about what I wanted to do. So I can, a gap semester, a gap year, I genuinely recommend it if you feel burnt out, if you're not sure what you want to do. And yeah, if you, like, I think I only did well because I had to. And I think that if it was up to me going through, like, high school, I would not care, because I have a work ethic that's variable. Like, I don't know, in school and things like that, I think there were very few moments where I genuinely felt the necessity to try and work hard. And so if it wasn't for constant accountability with those people that live with me, I would not have cared. I think that in jobs and things like that I really care about, that I am super passionate about, I think I go as hard as I possibly can. Like my current job, I love. I am pushing myself as much as I possibly can to be as new as I am, and still as, you know, green, I guess, is the correct term. But I my work ethic for other things, like, you could see if you, a cursory look of my channel would show how inconsistent my uploads have been. And YouTube is something I get a lot of joy from, because my work ethic is bad about that, because I view it as non-essential, I guess. But I'm trying to get better at it. I find a lot of joy in this. I'm having a lot more fun in the stream than I expected. I think having a couple people that are really cool to talk to, and Avi and Reese, it makes it more fun for me. I'm really enjoying it. I have always wanted to go to Israel, to be kind of the, you know, the progenation of the two largest traditions in the world. That is awesome. You know, you look at other countries, and literally nowhere else on the planet can say, yeah, I gave birth to the big two, and also Judaism. And I'm sorry, if Judaism is your third place, you're doing pretty good. Mesopotamia in Africa is another place I want to go, the birthplace of civilization. Obviously, I want to go to Japan. You know, I think most anime fans in the world, that's like their go-to. I have some family in Japan that I also want to visit. They've come to the U.S. a couple times, and they were really cool, so I want to go visit them. There's a couple places I want to travel. Me and my fiance have talked about, like, what we want to do for, like, the honeymoon, and those are all, like, kind of some big places. It's like, do we want to go to England? Do we want to go... This is all, you know... We're going to get married and then save up for several months to afford anywhere. But do we want to go to Disney, which, you know, I have a huge passion for, but also I'm kind of cool not going back to for a little bit. Do we want to go to somewhere like Japan? Do we want to go somewhere to... Hey, I don't think it is, Reese. I'll be real. Let's put it on the table. I want to go so bad. I don't think I could stay with my family, so I'd have to pay for a hotel room, because we know each other, and they're really cool. We should all go find Talon. Oh my gosh, that'd be really cool to meet up with somebody in Japan. Like, you know, there's always, like, there's all these, like, YouTubers that have, like, moved to Japan, that I find really interesting. Giguk is another one that moved over there, that I find really fascinating, just his kind of trajectory. I've looked into it just out of curiosity, because I you know, sometimes I get bored and I think, well, let's move to Japan. It's not as hard as you'd think. The only real requirement to moving there is you do have to have, like, a work sponsor or someone from the country that can... Okay, Avi. Okay, I see you. All right. Man, if I had friends in Japan, that'd be awesome. Like, gosh, meeting someone that's from there, you know, I've got my family members who I like a lot. I don't, you know, I know them fairly well. I really enjoyed them. I just don't, you know, we're not close because of the, you know, we know each other from halfway around the world. That'd be really cool. Meeting friends over there would be wonderful. So yeah, Japan is just incredible. I remember my cousins, the ones from Japan, Taiga and Haruki, are like the people that are my age, and then there's like older people like my aunts and stuff that I don't know as well. But they came over. Hiroki is, I think, like 5 years younger than me, and Taiga's like 10 or 11 years younger. I'm really bad with ages, so I'm probably way off the mark. But they're like way younger. Anyways, so when I met them, I think I was 18. Taiga was like tiny. Like, he was probably came up like halfway up my thigh, And then Haruki was, not my height, but like, around that size-ish, I guess. I think he was in middle or high school, because I met him when I was my first year of college. And they decided they wanted to play paintball, which I was all for. I loved playing paintball back in the day. And so I still had my stuff. It was kind of like a last hurrah type deal. And so we went out, and Haruki, is like most people when they first play paintball. They're scared to get shot because, paintball hurts. And it's, a lot of like high octane action. There's people shouting. Most people that go to play paintball for the first time are scared. And that it's kind of like a hard knocks, right? You get used to it. You learn to take the shot. And then, once you get shot the first time, all that kind of fades away. But Taiga, I mean, he was insane. He was like a little 8-year-old kid, and he got shot a couple times, like really early on in the match. And then he ran over to me, and I thought it's because he didn't know like what was going on. Because while he knew English, he was fluent. Show me that he was shot, but instead he's like wiping the paint off of himself, and he's just running around in a hoodie and jeans. Like this, like getting shot with a paintball, even as like someone who like I played it a good bit, it hurts. It does not feel good. It's not that bad, but like it definitely it'll pop you a little bit. And he is like completely like just hiding his stuff. I mean, Haruki's fine. He he gets shot the first time, and it's like, oh, okay, it hurts you, but you get used to it. But like Taiga, I mean, that man, I helped him too. I totally lied for him. I was like, I didn't see it. His shirt's clean. And I like wiped it on my sleeve and stuff, and like wiped it off, and was like, oh no, it's just a splatter. Man, that dude, that kid was crazy. He was so much fun. We messed with him because it was right about the time Pokemon Go came out, and for some reason it wasn't available where they were. I don't know if it was like a reception thing. Like they were just in like dead spots, because when Pokemon Go first came out, it sucked. It was fun and interesting, but like it objectively was not a good game. You couldn't play it for most of the time. Nothing would spawn where you wanted it to. It was just bad. But it was so cool, so it didn't matter. It was the hype. So he loved it, and he heard like the little Pikachu cry. And so he could replicate it like perfectly. Like his tone of voice, everything was so cool. And my dad freaked out when he heard it for some reason. He was like, "What? How did you do that?" And he just kept going around and making Taiga say Pikachu over and over and over. And he was getting a kick out of it because these are people that he knows are family, but he doesn't like know us because we're meeting for the first time. So the fact that I gotta probably stop soon. I wonder if I can. Oh, well, that didn't work. I wonder if I can plug this in with my sorry, one sec for technical difficulties. There's a lot of cords rocking right now, so I apologize if there's a little bit of issues in the stream. It's a lot of me learning. This is my first ever time being able to stream Dokkan, just because of like the different constraints, and I think my cords are just short enough. Well, I might be able to make it work. If that's good. Oh, okay. I think that worked. Yeah, I think it's working. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'll probably won't stream for too much longer. I do want to kind of finish out a couple. I'll probably EZA Blue Vegeta on the stream, just to get it done. But I can say I have a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone for coming out. I really appreciate you being here. I've streamed before with like my friend for like I think E3 2019 we streamed, which was fun. But there was a lot of silence. Because you're watching these big conference reveals and there's not a lot to say, but it's really cool having people to talk to. So I thank y'all very much for talking in the chat and stuff. But yeah, no, meeting my Japanese cousins was awesome, and I wish I'd gone. They came to San Francisco, which is on the opposite side of the country from me. So I wish I'd gotten to see them too. I'm in the Carolinas. If that helps. Kind of back and forth between Charlotte and Columbia right now. AB, what are you using? Because I think I remember you saying something about an iPhone. And if that's true, what I recommend doing, which is what I used to do, is just using the screen recording feature. And so all you do is literally just swipe up on your screen, hit the screen record button, swipe back down, and it starts in there's like a 3-second delay. Once you stop that recording, it does take about, I don't know, 3 minutes to save onto your phone. And then if it sometimes it messes up, which happened to me in my UI Goku summons. I was gonna put them up and it didn't work. But that's how I typically do it, and then I use Audacity on my computer to record audio. With this new cord I've got, I can record straight through the Elgato system, which is nice. However, I don't know how to set a wallpaper yet, so like the black bars around my screen, that's why. I tried to put a background on, and I just kept putting on top of the video, which is not the most helpful when I want a video to play. Which, yeah, no, if you're on iPhone, I recommend that. I think Android, you have to use like an external cord. I hope that helped. I don't know if it did or not. Wish the best of luck. Please, Elgato. Do you have... Okay, so you have the Elgato. Do you have the iPhone to HDMI cord? Because I think I can help you out. I just set this up like earlier today for the first time, and I'm running it right now. I'm going to go ahead and try and awaken Int Blue Vegeta. So while I'm doing that, I would be happy to help you out if you've got questions. Well, I guess I need to wake him, not train him. Okay, you have all the cords. So what I did, I have the HD60S, and so, you know, the play everything on the in and out. We could pop into Discord. I'll help you out a lot more there too, because I'm about to hop off. I'm after I EZA this Vegeta. But yeah, if you can tell me what the issues are, I might be able to help you. I'm not exactly the tech expert. In case the stream hasn't taught everybody that. I'm not good, but I'm happy to help. I would love to help someone else, you know, be able to do this. I know it's a lot of fun. I'm having a ton of fun. Oh my god, I have so many Int Kais. When was the last good Int unit that came out? What's the next good Int unit to come out? Was the last good Int unit LR God Goku? My gosh, what? That's kind of sobering. Gotenks. Oh yeah, Gotenks. That was JP, but yeah, point made. Gotenks is good. So I guess when he comes out, I can get him. When was the last Extreme Int unit to come out? Jeez, that... The Awakening for... Support Gogeta. Okay, oh, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, of course. Oh my gosh, he's really good. I don't know how I forgot him. Thank you, Reese. Yeah. Whoa, that was a blunder. Gosh, yeah, you're right. He's awesome. So, oh my god, are you kidding me? I guess I'm not gonna be. Oh, I missed my login. Let's see how many points I got. Oh my gosh, the last Extreme 5 was Broly. I mean, the Broly trio that came during the anniversary, if you're on JP, I mean, that's kind of... He was good. They're Extreme 5 for whatever reason. Oh, wow, I've got 49 stones. Honestly, I was tempted to do a summon, but I think I'm just one shy. Maybe if I do something real quick, I can. Yeah, consume 20 stamina, so we'll hop into a quick event, and I'll finish off with a summon. The Broly trio is really... anything? I guess I can do LR Krillin real quick. We'll do this. I'll do one, that way I can finish with a summon, which I think is really fun. That's perfect. I'll have exactly 50. That's really cool. Yeah, the Broly trio is really good. Plus, their super attacks are so unnecessarily beautiful. Like compared to that physical or Int Goku Black. Okay, last Extreme Int unit was Goku Black. Wow, the second anniversary units, like the second half, I think they're weirdly forgettable for how good they are. That's a good video idea. You should do that. That'd be a really good one. Talking about your favorite unit of every type. Mine would be difficult because I have so many favorite units. I feel like every time I'm like, oh, that's my favorite unit, there's another one. I think my all-time favorite unit in the game would probably be either Extreme Physical Dokkan Fest Broly or like the old one, or physical Vegeta Blue. Reese, I would say, yeah, AVU should do that video. I would watch that in a heartbeat. That's a good video idea. Also, Reese, I would say it depends on how much you are willing to spend. UI Goku took me 1,200 stones to pull. With 12 units. You'll have 12 units on the LR Rose banner. However, 2 of them will have, what you call it, 2 of them would be LRs, which is pretty good. Because you have a 1 in 6 chance if you pull a featured unit of it being an LR, which is decent rates. It's still not great though, so I think I wouldn't recommend summoning on that unless you're willing to spend money. If you are willing to spend money, then yeah, go for it. I mean, it'd be fun. Okay, Avi, that I kind of understand that. I need to be more like that. I need to be more consistent. I'd love to do some dual stuff during the anniversary. There's a lot of stuff coming out that I'm very excited for. It'd be really cool to do some like dual videos, like back to back with people. That could be a lot of fun. That'd be really cool. But yeah, I think the banner itself, like if you miss and you get another featured unit, it's not great from what I remember. All right, so do I do Beerus or do I do? We're gonna do you because I need the Kais. Plus, it can get an LR. I'd be down to collabries. I'm down to collab with anybody. I've never done it before, but I'm so down. Man, I never hear the audio, so it's really cool. I'm not hoping for it. Okay, Super Saiyan 3. That's kind of cool. Wish that Super Saiyan 3 meant like 2 units. Mass Saiyan. I was just talking about him the other day, or today I think, with y'all. He's a unit that could use an awakening. Badly. Oh, that Tech Roshi's really good. That's cool. I think this is going to be a pretty dead multi. I think it's the last unit coming up. Yeah, I don't need him, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I can still use... Okay, cool. Those 10 summons are really helpful. I probably should have just done a Kai summon, but whatever. So those 10 coins are really useful, plus the Kai I can use to help pump into stuff. So I had a lot of fun. Our boy Matt saying, yeah, Reese, I was talking about with you. That's right. You are the person. Okay, I knew it was somebody, but I wasn't sure who. Okay, yeah. No, Rassan's super cool. I think I can still use him. Let's take a look and see real quick. I'm sorry, I know I'm about to end, but I just want to check out one thing real quick. Yeah, 79%, so I can definitely use him. That's a top right, I guess? Yeah, there's so many units that I have full dupes for. I just need SA for. I thought that was one of them, but I guess not. Wow. That's kind of impressive. Alright, everybody. Well, thanks y'all for stopping by. I'm about to hop off, and like we always say here on the channel, I hope to see you around sometime.